What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Jets Guru. Without the bells and whistles, JR is still out, but we're still here. We're still kicking. We're still vibing, right? So appreciate the support. Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to Facebook. Shout out to everyone listening on Spotify. Shout out to everyone listening on Apple Podcasts. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for the people that are sending the stars on Facebook so we can keep growing. We do have a new shirt, t-shirt, merch design. We just got to get time to get them and press them because we press them by hand out here. We don't just get them made by a company. We get an artist to design our stuff, and then we press them ourselves by hand. The guru is out here pressing t-shirts by hand. I'm not playing with you. So I'll let you know soon when I get on that. I'm hoping by the end of the month, the Aaron Rodgers thing's hit me hard. I mean, it's hit everybody hard. We went from being Super Bowl contending team to will we even make the playoffs? Is that even possible? I believe it is possible. People say, well, Zach Wilson is playing football. How in the hell do you think the Jets are going to make the playoffs? I will say this. Zach Wilson has played some awful football, but I have seen the Jets win despite him. I have seen the Jets win with him when he's taking care of the football. And I don't believe the end of that Cowboys game was an indication of what he will necessarily do in the Patriots game. And I'm not saying that with full confidence. I'm just saying that because they put Zach Wilson in an awful situation last week. I just thought the Jets and Hackett did not call a good game. Now, that doesn't mean that Zach Wilson played well. I'm just saying that I think you didn't do him any favors. To only use Breece Hall, to only use Dalvin Cook 4 times each when you spent that money that Aaron Rodgers graciously took off his salary so you could bring some more weapons in. You brought Dalvin here to rush him 4 times. You brought Breece Hall back, took him off the injury reserve when he could have rehabbed for another couple games just so you can rush him 4 times. And what about Mecole Hardman? Where has Mecole Hardman been? And guys, please share for me because it's really hard because usually I have everybody else with me. And so I don't want to stop too much and get off flow. And I want to be able to talk to you guys. So if you could share to all the pages so I don't have to do it that much, that would be fantastic. I appreciate your support. But Mecole Hardman, where's he been? He's even surprised. And it's like, oh, Mecole Hardman sucks. I told you this was going to happen. No, dude, this is just them not using Mecole Hardman. Like, I'm getting a little bit worried because you spent all summer with Zach Wilson, and it looks just like the old Zach Wilson and how you're basically using him. And if you're that scared to throw the ball down the field with Zach Wilson, then why is he your number 2 quarterback on a Super Bowl season? Knowing damn well that you're a New York Jet and knowing damn well the history of this football team and what they've had to go through with injured quarterbacks and players throughout their history. And just look around the NFL, right? Because we're Jet fans. So, like, we're looking focused on our team. But a lot of players have went down over the years for a lot of different teams. So just in general, you should have a backup quarterback that you feel comfortable could lead your team, especially during a Super Bowl season. And the Jets didn't do that because they had invested so much in Zach Wilson. That was Joe Douglas's guy. That was Robert Saleh's guy. And they want to squeeze every bit of opportunity out of him because it's a stain on their resume. Even if the Jets play well and finish out the season, he still has not lived up to the bill unless he somehow turns it around this season. And can it happen? Yes, I've seen it happen to players, but most of the time it doesn't. Now, most of the time by a third-year quarterback when he looks like this, the team starts pulling away their foundation to succeed moving forward because they realize that guy isn't the guy. Well, the Jets are giving Zach Wilson every damn opportunity to keep this football number 1 spot for the New York Jets at quarterback. So if he fails here, he's going to have a hard time getting a job at other places because you could say it's the offensive line. You could say that everything's new. You could say that they started him too early to begin with and he lost his confidence. But football players know football players. And you saw how the team reacted to him last year. Now, granted, he came in, he's more mature, and you got to give him kudos for that. You got to say, okay, that's cool. I like what he's been saying. I like all of that. And Scott is saying that I'm so down. I'm not down, dude, at all. I'm just kind of indifferent to it. And we're going to get there, right? We're going to get to all that, right? So the way I'm looking at it is the Jets didn't do him any favors. He came out here. They did not run the football. Not running the football for a quarterback that struggles passing the ball is ultimately the worst thing you can do. A little bit better on the run, pass type of scenario where it doesn't look so vanilla, but they didn't push the ball down the field. And when you're playing a good defense like that, they're just going to start pinning their ears back, especially in the second half. And that's what they did. And they fell behind, and the turnover by Cook was absolutely killer because you have to limit those because of Zach Wilson's inability to push the offense down the field. I mean, you added Lazard to this team, Dalvin Cook. You still have two tight ends that are very capable. You have the rookie of the year on your team. You have Nicole Hardman, who you could see his skill level throughout his career. You have a veteran in Randall Cobb, and you literally can't move the ball, over the 50-yard line consistently. That's tough. That's tough because, as much crap as we all gave Sam Darnold and as much crap as we gave Geno Smith and as much crap as we gave Mark Sanchez and Bryce Petty and all of them deserved it because they just weren't very good. When people complained Josh McCown was fronting this team, I would take Josh McCown, what was it, that 2015 year right now. Give me that Josh McCown right now with these weapons, and I guarantee you Josh McCown throws over 20 touchdowns for this football team. I guarantee you Garrett Wilson looks every bit as good because he made Robbie Anderson look good, and I forgot who the other receiver was at the time. Was it Curse? But no, it was who was it? I can't remember, guys. You got to let me know on that one. But yeah, but he made those two. You almost had 2,000-yard receivers on that team, on a team that we were expected to win one game. I think we won 5 or 6. Defense was awful. It wasn't a great collection of talent, but they outperformed. Give me that guy. The only guy that I'm really taking in the last few years that I've seen, I'm not taking Joe Flacco no more. I'd rather have Zach Wilson. If we're gonna go down with Zach Wilson. I'm not going down with Joe Flacco. That's not it for me. So we're looking at it and we're saying, well, how could we get better from this? Like, how could Zach Wilson get better from this? And I think one of the ways that Zach Wilson could get better from this and the team could get better from this is obviously switching up the play series. Like, run, pass just does not work. Okay. You're going to have to throw the ball down the field on first down. You have to play action on second down. You might run it on third every once in a while just to keep them off balance, right? Because Zach Wilson has become very predictable throughout his career. It doesn't take much to know what to stun him and, push him out of the pocket. He's going to run a little too much. He's going to look a little too much. He's not going to take his check down. And ultimately, he'll make a mistake in his zone coverage. So this is his MO, right? And when he's not doing that and he's in the pocket, they're also blitzing him with their edge rushers, trying to get him to step up into the pocket because he doesn't do that very often. But I will tell you that I have seen Zach Wilson step into the pocket this year, and I've liked what I've seen. I think he has to get comfortable there, and he has to be comfortable with getting hit. This is the NFL. The 20 yards running back on the sidelines is just not going to do it. This is going to be a wet game against the New England Patriots, so keep that in mind. So how much leash does Zach Wilson actually get, right? I don't think we really have to go too much over the Cowboys game. I think we all watched it. I think everyone watched it. I think we saw that the Cowboys have a better defense. And that could be, in fact, because the offense is so bad, it puts you in bad positions. It leaves you out on the field. As you remember, the Cowboys ran double the amount of plays than the Jets did. That could wear on a defense, especially late in the game. But to me, they just looked a little bit more excited. And let's talk about the defensive line too. Hardly any pressure. I think we got one sack, maybe. The defensive line was not formidable at all. I felt like the Cowboys outperformed us at every level, at tackling, at making turnovers, at the corner position. Sauce was just unjustly pinned for the performance that CD Lamb put up, which was absolutely amazing. And it wasn't on him. I think he maybe had one catch on Sauce, if that. And Sauce took that personal, deleted his Twitter account. You also heard uh, several players like Brees Hall speak about his carries. Mecole Hardman talked. And this is what I'm worried about with the New York Jets, because this happened the same way last year. When things started going bad, a lot of these young players started chirping. And the way I see Garrett Wilson, I've seen a lot of maturity in the young man, because he's been hyping up Zach Wilson as he should. It's his quarterback. And I don't think anybody else is going to be playing Jets quarterback, at least for a couple weeks, even if they do bring someone in. But I'll tell you this. This is a huge game for Zach Wilson. This is going to determine the rest of the season for the Jets. And I honestly think it's the best decision for the Jets. Because Zach Wilson's either going to show you, hey, don't give up on me yet. I still have a lot left in the tank, and I have the physical skills and abilities. But the problem with that is he could also show you the other side. And I think the Jets have to be honest with themselves, because the Jets were also in this kind of middling ground years ago when Vinny Testaverde tore his Achilles, if you remember that, and the quarterback that filled in for him. And they had opportunities, the New York Jets, to not use Rick Meyer and maybe install Ray Lucas at one point in time. And they really should have made that decision a lot earlier. And they didn't, and it cost the Jets. And so I think if you have a team that's as good as this, I think the best thing that you should do is go out and find a guy who can get that team. Because if you think you lost your team last year, as I'm sharing to other pages here, other Jets pages, if you think the Jets lost the team last year, just wait what happens this year if they fall apart against the Patriots. And then ultimately have to play a national TV game Sunday night or Monday night against the Chiefs. This could be a full-on disaster. And the thing that scares me about it is that I could see the Jets being very, very vanilla with their offense to protect Zach Wilson, which again puts the Jets defense in a compromising position. Everything's on their shoulders. They can't mess up or make a bad play, or it's going to be over for the game. And it's not fair. And I understand if, these guys were chirping a lot, but they were also chirping a lot because they thought that, Aaron Rodgers was going to be on the team. So, yeah, if I was on the defensive side of the ball, Kevin, I would be chirping too if I had Aaron Rodgers, because I look at how I just played with Zach Wilson, Mike White, and Joe Flacco. And what's the other guy that everyone wanted? Strevler and all these other guys. And we did that. Now we got Aaron Rodgers. So that's why they were chirping. I guarantee you, if they had Zach Wilson in camp, they wouldn't have been saying they were going to be the 85 Bears. I guarantee that. And they could say they would have, but I know they wouldn't have, because we're starting to get a taste of what we saw last season. But again, Kevin, and I want your opinion on this, because it's kind of like an in and out thing with Zach Wilson, where they're too scared to let him push the ball down the field, which he ultimately has the arm to do, because they don't want to make the mistakes that make them lose the game. But if you don't take those shots, you really have a minimal chance of winning the game. Like what you did in Buffalo is not going to happen on against Buffalo. It's not going to happen on the regular. You have to be able to test defenses and use weapons. You can't think that you're going to score 10, 13, 16 points every game and beat some of the best in the NFL because you're not displaying a competent NFL offense. Like if you're going to fail going high. I'm not saying throw deep every single play, Kevin, but you're going to have to open this offense a little bit on fair ground here. Now we almost got into it about the weather, but we'll get more into that game later. The weather is supposed to be pretty bad on Sunday, so I could see the Jets both of them kind of being vanilla. But I'm just talking about in general, Kevin. Are you muted, Kevin? I can't hear you. It's not on my side. Let me hit it and unhit it again just to make sure. All right, we'll figure that out in a second, but that's one of my biggest gripes, to be honest with you guys, is they're not pushing Zach Wilson in this offense in a way that needs to be pushed. You're not using players. You have the worst completion percentage in the NFL right now from the quarterback position. So you're not hitting targets again. Your offensive coordinator is putting you in my opinion, in awful positions, with the run, pass garbage and not running the football. If you have a young quarterback who is struggling to pass, I really think
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Sorry about
Kevin,
that.
I really think if you have a quarterback that's struggling in general, I think giving your two best backs only 4 carries is not a way to protect him. I mean, I think that even though Zach Wilson is played pretty bad at times, I also think they haven't done a great job at managing him and putting him in the best scenarios.
Yeah, and sorry for being late, everyone. I hit a rewind on that thought a little bit. I mean, the Jets weren't set up for success on that game, right? We played Monday night. We had a short week, so we already lost a day, and then we had a travel day. So the Jets came in 2 days less prep than they would have on a normal rotation. And I would say across the board, and this is something that I want to watch for moving forward, and it ties into every single point you just made, is that when you have situations like that, and you even think back to the Rex Ryan years and the Bill Parcells, the Herm Edwards years, when you have a short week, you have to do what you do well, right? You can't put in a lot of razzle dazzle. Your defense has to keep you in the game. If you're good at running the ball, you have to be able to run the ball, right? The Jets have had teams with Thomas Jones, with Curtis Martin, where they're put in a bad situation, but you have to have your bread and butter of saying, you know what, we got a short week to game plan for this team, so we're just going to do what we do well. And they would just hand it to Curtis 25 times, 28 times, 30 times. You just knew what was going to happen because they had a short week or it was a game on the road or whatever it was. Maybe they were injured, there were some injuries, and they were just going to lean on the run game because that's what we do well. This Jets team, the coaches failed the New York Jets. They failed the fans across the board. The Jets fans are too focused on what we don't do well. We know what we don't do well going into every single game. You know this already, but you should know what the Jets do well. Do we run the ball well? We had 180 yards against the Buffalo Bills in week 1. The Jets coaches should know we run the ball well. You run the ball. You just got 2 elite running backs and a quarterback in a hostile environment in a short week that you didn't get to prep him against one of the best defenses in the NFL. Does Bill Parcells not lean on Curtis Martin in that situation? Come on now. And you have Cook and Breece Hall. The coaches failed. Did Zach Wilson have a good game? No. But the coaches got to say, we're going to put in big tight end sets. Our 2 best players on offense right now should be our running backs and Garrett Wilson. And just run it behind ABT and Becton. You took them 2 first-round picks in the top 20, and you have Brees Hall and Dalvin Cook. Do what you do well. Take Cook, take Hall, and you run it behind ABT. And you put Ruckert in the game, who was the number one blocking tight end week 1, and you have him chip on Parsons and open up the run game. I don't know what the Jets coaches were doing. And nobody gets a free pass. Nobody gets a free pass because the defense was not good. And I hear so many Jets fans saying, oh, they were tired. The Dallas Cowboys scored the first drive of the game. Were they tired when the game started? They walked right down for 7. The Jets gave up 2 touchdowns. One was the second touchdown. Coming out of halftime, they just had a 30-minute break. Dallas put 8 points on the board on that one. They went for 2, and they got it. The Cowboys got 5 more field goals. The Cowboys could do whatever they want, and that's unacceptable. You don't have to be the 85 Bears, but, dude, you can't give up 7 scoring drives if you're even a good defense. Not elite, not greatest of all time. If you're a good defense, you don't give up 7 scores. And for people who were watching what was happening, Mike McCarthy picked up the joystick, looked at his playbook, looked Saleh in the face, and said, we're going to score points on you, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it. And he did it. So the Jets got to look in the mirror. The defense has to be better. We have 1 sack. Tyron Smith, he's an all-pro, guys. And he shut down Lawson and Jermaine Johnson. It is what it is. We faced an all-pro. And don't give Quinnen Williams a hard time because he had 2 huge tackles for a loss in the run game that were like sacks, 4 or 5 yard losses. And he was up against Zach Martin. He still had a pretty good game.
Yeah.
So, but the Jets D's got to be better. The Jets offense got to be better. And these coaches got to show up on a home game against an 0-2 team that they've never beat. They got to line up and beat them if we're going to take them serious this year. Or the train will come off the tracks very, very quick. The coaches got to rally and get this team ready for Sunday because they were not ready against the Cowboys.
Yeah, Kevin, absolutely. And to your point, that first quarter, you're talking about a 12-play, 75-yard drive. That's before, Zach Wilson hits the field. That's before Brees Hall and all that kind of stuff gets going. So that's, hey, we're 85 Bears out of the gate. Here you go. The offense hasn't even started yet, and you're giving up a 12-play, 75-yard drive. And then, even though there was a gap in that time between the Cowboys scoring again, when the Cowboys did score again, 14-play, 70-yard drive. When they did score again, 13-play, 75-yard drive. When they did score again, 12-play, 55-yard drive. It's not like it wasn't really towards the end of the game until Zach Wilson started giving away the football and flipping over the field and that such. And then obviously you had the Dalvin Cook fumble. So we can't really blame Zach Wilson for putting the Jets in a bad position to not be able to win. And Kevin, here's another thing that pissed me off, right? And the Jets did this last year, and I just didn't understand it. If the Jets were down 30-10 in the first half, I completely understand the Jets coming out in the third quarter and throwing the football like they did, pretty much most of the game. But you were down, what was it, 13-7 or 10-7?
10. It was
Yeah,
18-10 at half, a
yeah.
one-score game.
I mean, come on. I mean, you come out of the gate running the football. And to your point again with Curtis Martin and being able to run, it's not like Curtis Martin was popping off like 80-yard runs every time he touched the ball. 25 carries, 140 yards, you're grinding it out. It's still, 3.5, 4.5 yards per carry, whatever it winds up being. But it's a grind, but your team has to play like this, because you can't have this kid coming out there slinging the ball with an offensive line that still hasn't gelled yet, and he still needs a couple of games. And then how about this? Another thing that pissed me off, Kevin, is that, like you said, you got Becton, who's just a road grader, and the 8 carries that you do give your running backs, you don't even run them behind Becton like that. Like, it just, everything was just like the upside down. It was just a Stranger Things type of football game that just didn't make any sense to me. And we have to find a way to be able to use the tight ends this season. I mean, for crying out loud, I mean, I would be like calling plays for just the tight end and telling Zach, these guys are your saviors underneath, man. These are your big body guys you could trust to throw the football down. Go through your first read when you're, well, if you're already rolling out, you probably went through your reads. So now that you're rolling out, you know, and you're scrambling for your life, look for those big bodies. It's just, they're so scared to run this offense with Zach Wilson. Like, why wait until the fourth quarter where he's throwing interceptions anyway? If you go out there and you're getting shut down and you're so vanilla that you have everyday fans saying, this is what they're going to do, this is what they're going to do, this is what they're going to do, what do you think a genius like Bill Belichick is doing throughout the game and his defensive staff? They're looking at the same thing. And for me, when you look at the offensive side of the ball, Kevin, when we talk about this Patriots game, this is a big game for Zach Wilson for many reasons. One, it's a home game. Two, you're in a position to be 2-0 in the division, go up 2-1. So there's a lot of benefits to this, snapping a 14-game win streak for the Patriots, which is a huge win streak. It's Bill Belichick, the history, but for Zach Wilson personally, this is where Zach Wilson really began to fall apart, was when he started playing against Bill Belichick. And I think Zach can do himself a favor. Now, let's see what the Jets do. It's supposed to be not some tropical storm, but I forgot what they call it. But they said gusts up to 40, 50 miles per hour. You're talking about 3 to 5 inches of rain potentially during game time. This could be a really sloppy game. Kevin, how do you expect this game is going to go if the weather's like this? And who do you think it favors?
Well, the best part of the Jets team right now is our punter. It's the best part. I rely on him. I don't have to worry about Morstead. Yeah, man, he's playing I mean, that was the best part of the game against Dallas. Probably our special teams, even with swapping out the kickers, has been fine. It's going to be a big deal in this game, obviously. But taking a step back, and actually, we were talking about this morning, right? I mean, I often get labeled as a Zach Wilson apologist, right? And honestly, this is how I look personally at a quarterback's development. We went through this with Sam Darnold. We were just talking about this morning, right? Like, as a rookie that's learning the NFL, learning defense, learning concepts, learning how to read, everything different, right? I mean, this is like a whole new world. We're not college football up here. Yeah, does a rookie quarterback got to lean on the team? Like, yeah, he should show you some flashes, some plays that he's starting to get it and that he's progressing as a rookie, mentally progressing and getting better throughout the season. But he's not carrying your team. You don't count on a rookie quarterback to carry your team. Now, year two, you look for like some spots, right? There's some quarters, like maybe a couple quarters, a half, a big fourth quarter where you see it, right? He still maybe doesn't carry your franchise, carry your team, but he carries you through like, quarters. Maybe he has monster games here and there, but you don't rely on him 100%. But year three, you got to start being able to take the training wheels off. And I was same thing with Sam Darnold those first 2 years. Give him a break. Like, he was better the second half of his second year. He showed flashes his first year. Year three is when I started getting hard on Sam. Like, I need some consistency. I got to know what you are. And that's the thing where, while Zach Wilson's team has to be better around him, we cannot have the worst offensive line in the league, right? Right now, we're rated last in pass blocking in the entire NFL. Like, that's not setting anybody up for success. It already got, an Achilles blown out. It got us here to begin with, debating whose fault it is. But the team does have to play better. But so does Zach Wilson. Like, he's got to play better, make better decisions. I know one of them was, like a Hail Mary to Garrett Wilson, just one-on-one, throw it up there. I mean, it was like a punt. Went down to the 3. It is what it is. I like that he at least took that shot. The last one, the Diggs, was just being lazy, cross-body throw, not smart. I mean, even if he completed that pass, it was like a 5-yard gain. The juice wasn't worth the squeeze on that throw. So he does have to get better. He does have to have moments. We should expect a hot quarter from Zach Wilson where he's 6 for 7 on a drive and gets us a score. He's year 3. And this is one of those games, and there's a lot of people. I'll go back to it again. It's not just Zach Wilson who's 0-4 against the Patriots. It's not just the Jets that are 0-14 against the Patriots. Salah's 0-4. And guys, everybody beats the Patriots now. The Patriots aren't a serious, yes, they're well coached. Yes, they're disciplined. And you got to beat yourself to beat the Patriots now. If you don't beat yourself, you beat the Patriots. Mike McDaniel, 3-1 against the Patriots. Tua, 5-0 against the Patriots. Guys, the Patriots aren't a serious team anymore. This is not Cincinnati. This is not Baltimore. This is not, this isn't even Denver. This team is not that talented. They got a few players sprinkled in here and there, but they dare you to beat yourself. And if you don't beat yourself, you beat them. Everybody does. Everybody beats the damn Patriots. So the coaches got to put Zach in this offense and this defense and win this game at home in front of the home fans. If you're going to break it, do it now. Or I already said it, man. This is where this could really tumble the season. You got Kansas City after this. You got Denver on the road. Those are not cupcake games. You do not want to be 1-3 when 3 of your first 4 games are your home games. You can't have a 1-3 record and just say we just threw away our home schedule. Jets, go win this game.
Losing the mic here. Yeah, we lost the mic there. We lost Kevin, but yeah, no, I'm with you, Kevin. Like 100%. It's one of those things where when you look at it, if they don't win this game, it is just all downhill from here. The key for the Jets is to be 3-3 moving forward. It boils down to that. It's as simple as that. The Jets lose this game. Do we really feel confident that they're going to go ahead and beat Mahomes? And then do you really feel confident that they'll go out and beat the Eagles? No. If you get a good win at home, and depending on how he plays, it's just one of those things that you feel more confident as a football team. Now for this game, and I think Kevin's back here, so we're going to add him to that. For this game, if it is as sloppy as we think it's going to be, the Jets are going to have to run the football. And to me, I think it favors the Jets. I know somebody said in the comments that it doesn't favor the Jets. If they run the football, it favors the Jets. And the thing that pisses me off again is that the one thing that the McGovern can do is run block. The one thing that Becton can do is run block. AVT could do everything. Tomlinson's just hasn't lived up to the billing so far. I don't know, whatever. And then Dwayne Brown is showing a bit of his age. But the one thing that you can do is you can run block. Give it some time. If you get shut out, that's fine. That's okay. Punt the ball. You got the best punter in the game. I don't know if he's the best punter in the game. He's the best punter I've ever seen in Jets uniform for right now. So, punt the ball, play the small game, and then take your chances every once in a while. Hit that play action, and then, if you see a one-on-one matchup, throw it up. And if there's a turnover, it's not a big deal. But if you're going to play vanilla, if you're not going to run the ball, if you're going to play this weird – I don't even know what to call it. You're not running the ball. You're not screening. You're not taking chances down the field. You're not throwing the ball in the middle. You're just kind of like hitting these little outs and these little slants, and you're rolling out and picking up a couple yards and stall drives, and then the other team scores, and the other team scores, and the other team scores. And then Zach throws the ball down the field, even though there's no rhythm now. You're just pushing him into it. Now the defense can respond to him and zone out more and put more defenders in coverage to be able to snag the football. Or now they could just pin their ears back because they know you're not going to challenge the one-on-one matchup on the outside. You cannot do this. If I watch this game on Sunday, and I was gonna go to the game, thank God I didn't because of the weather. But um if they do this, man, this is going to be tough to sell the rest of the season. They're going to be really, really forced to go out and get a quarterback because you don't want to lose this. People are just going to get fired, dude, if the Jets come out and win like 4 games, dude, because there's no reason why we should continue to keep hanging on to Zach Wilson when we let other guys go who were talented too, and we gave them hard times too. Like Kevin said, we're not being disingenuous to Zach Wilson. Like we on the show give rookies a full pass. I don't care if they throw 45 interceptions their rookie year, they get a pass. Second year, like Kevin said, you want to see quarters. You want to see maybe a game or two where it's just like, well, okay, I see it. We just never saw it after the rookie year. We saw the flash of the Tennessee Titans game. We saw those types of the passes and different things like that, but we didn't see it after that. We saw a guy that got really confused with coverages, that was hesitant on his decision, that relied on jumping out of the pocket instead of sticking in the pocket and stepping up into the pocket. And like I said before, there's been a couple throws that I've seen Zach Wilson make that I've actually liked when he stepped up in the pocket. It's just when you're down 30-10 and you have one of the best defenses in the league pressing you go back to what you know. And I think the way by getting around that and having him falling into his instincts is exactly what Kevin said. Hand the damn ball off 25, 30 times. Incorporate maybe a couple screens here and there when the defense is pinning back and just going full bore after your quarterback. And tell your quarterback to step up in that pocket like a grown man and throw the football or run with the football like you see so many quarterbacks do. And when Zach does that, he looks good because there's a few plays that he made even in the last game where he kind of like snuck through the line and stepped up and ran and got rid of the football. And there's a throw, and you could call it what if this, what if that, where Garrett Wilson was wide open and the ball was tipped just enough where it couldn't get there. But to be honest with you guys, you can easily say if the ball wasn't tipped, that defender is also right there too, because he only fell down with the football because it was tipped and he was going after it. So if he was standing up, would have had enough to get there. So like Kevin said, we got to make smart decisions when we're in the red zone as well. But we can't play scared. So what does that mean, right? We can't have him make mistakes, but he can't play scared. What does that mean? Well, that means go out and play football. What that means is he's the number 2 quarterback, execute the offense. He knows that he's smart enough, so execute it. Go out there and let it rip, okay? Now, if the weather's bad, you're going to do a lot of handoffs. So it's going to be don't fumble the ball, play good defense. The first one to make a mistake loses the game. That's how I thought the Cowboys game was going to be. But it showed me that this Jets offense is a little bit more simplistic than what I even thought it was. I thought we would have took a step up from what we saw last year, but it's new coordinator even. I thought maybe it would optically look different, but it does not, which means and it shows me that they're scared to use Zach Wilson, Kevin. So if you had to do a score here, Kevin, if you give us a score, lay it on us here. Are the Jets victorious at home? What do you got?
All right. The best offense that we've seen so far this year was the second half of the Bills game when we used 3 tight end sets because Rucker was able to help set the edge in the pass game, and he's an amazing blocker. And the Jets, as I already said, got to do what they do well. And I don't care if Zach Wilson throws 180 yards and 1 touchdown every game, and we get 2 rushing touchdowns every game. Put the 3 tight end set, keep the offense simple, use his legs, and run the ball. Don't make it more complicated than that. And what you saw last week is that because teams will overplay the run, you get Hardman or Garrett Wilson the ball, and there's no safety to help catch him. So if you get them the ball in space ever in a game, it's a home run. And Lowell and I go back and argue this all the time. I understand they're playing Cobb because he's a good run blocker, but we didn't run the last game. So it kind of didn't make sense, right? He's got 43 snaps and no catches. So don't tell me about his hands and route running and stuff. Like, what's he doing? Like on a treadmill or something in the game? So the Jets got to take more shots with Hartman. You got a big, strong arm quarterback. You have no safety help. And Garrett Wilson and Hartman can score from anywhere on the field. Literally, if they catch the ball at the 10, one-on-one with the safety, they're scoring because no one else can catch them. So they got to be a little smarter, but they got to lean. I think Jets go to a 3 tight end set. I think the good thing about this game is while the Jets have the worst offensive line in the NFL, the second worst offensive line is the Patriots right now. It's a 33 to 37% win rate. These are two bad offensive lines. So while I worry about Judon, the Jets defensive line is going to have a big rebound game, and the Jets win an ugly one. It's going to be a random score, like 19-9. It's just going to be some random stupid, a safety. I think our special teams is elite. And I think the Jets can run the ball if they put the run personnel out there. Hackett's got to not be stubborn. You're not going to turn Wilson into Aaron Rodgers. This is time to say, hey, we can win old style. Literally the ground and pound. That is what we should be doing, no doubt about it. And move Wilson. When he runs and spreads out the defense, he becomes a legit threat, and things will open up behind that because they're worried about him running.
Yep.
And I think we got to see more of that this game. I think you need 40 yards rushing from Wilson. I think you need 180 yards rushing as a team. I think you need ballpark, 200 yards passing. Defense has got to show up. We got to hit Mac and hit him often, and he's not going to be running around. So I have 19-9. Jets take this one at home, break the streak. Salah and Wilson get their revenge game over Belichick. We send them to 0-3, essentially eliminating from the playoffs. Let the 2 wins be conference and division wins, keeping hope alive going into KC and Denver.
Yep, absolutely, 100%. As we see with Denver so far, they look very beatable too, and they're going through their own growing pains and trying to put together their football team. So if you could come out and get this victory, obviously they're going to be heavy underdogs against Mahomes. Anything can happen at home, of course, but going into that Denver game, you have a shot at being 3-3, and I think you get at that point in time a real good chance to know, can Zach finish out this season to get some miraculous Aaron Rodgers redemption comeback of some sort, which I think is not going to happen, but can he at least get us in the playoffs? So going into next year with Aaron Rodgers, you're like, listen, we made the playoffs. Zach Wilson, by that time, if we get into the playoffs and Zach Wilson's a quarterback the whole time, he would have shown his worth to be a competent backup at that point. So he would be happy enough to sit back and then give him another shot when Aaron retires another year or whatever it is. But if the Jets are close to 3-3 and Wilson is really struggling and the Jets do not get a quarterback, these people are getting fired. They are putting a lot into this kid. And granted, I get it. You drafted him and I respect it because it's, hey, we do believe in him. We see him in the building every day and we do believe in his talent. But at the end of the day, I think the reason why Bill Belichick was able to stay around so long as well is his ability to let go and not make it personal. Like, hey, I drafted this guy or I did this or I did that. You have to run a franchise and you've put so many great pieces together. Don't repeat last year. If you repeat last year, you then repeat it 2 years in a row where you had a chance to do damage in the playoffs and got held back from the one thing that has hamstrung this organization. We've had great defenses before. We've had good running games before, but we haven't had sustained success at quarterback. And we've at least made the playoffs in prior years. If this regime did not, I mean, Herm Edwards made the playoffs. Mangini was right there. I mean, you're talking about, Pennington. You're talking about Sanchez, Rex Ryan. I mean, even Al Groh is able to almost get there. I mean, it's like, come on, man. You're going to have to give us more than 7 wins this year. And so I think if Wilson could do this for us, please, Zach, if you're watching, Zachary, listen to me. Please run with the football when you can. Don't ruin this. This is your last shot. You got the best offense that any recent Jets quarterback I can name has had. please win this game so I don't have to hear it from people at work and I don't have to hear it no more. So me and Kevin don't have to keep making episode after episode talking about the damn quarterback. Give us a half a season, Zach. Give us the rest of the season, and then you could go back and learn behind Aaron. But if you don't get it right here, your career is most likely toast. Because I think even people like Sam Darnold is showing up and giving more than what you have. So, Liz, I need your score for this game. Kevin's going 19-9 or something weird like that because the weather might play a factor. I am going to go 17-10 Jets. And what are you going, Liz?
That's very odd. I was just going to say 17-10. So I'm going to go 14-7 Jets.
There we go. 14-7 Jets. And listen, I mean, it is not going to be fun to watch. It's going to be a slow grindered defensive game. Kevin highlighted both offensive lines are struggling right now. Both teams can run the football, which they will. Both teams have quarterbacks who have had their struggles throwing the football. So I would be very surprised if this was some kind of slugfest. But when the opportunity calls, Zach is going to have to be accurate in this game to get the respect of Mr. Belichick. So, guys, thank you for tuning in so much. Liz, we're sorry. We're getting off right now, but we popped in, got your prediction. You're working right now, so you're hustling. But I appreciate your prediction and good luck. I think, Kevin, are you going to the game on Sunday or what?
I will be in the monsoon for sure, man. I'll tell you, Bruce Reeder always used to talk about that last time we beat the Patriots, man. He always talked about that and how special it was and what a great moment he was. And everyone talked so highly. And I'll never forget what a positive, like, he always glowed about the last time that we beat the Patriots. So I want to be there for the next one. It'll be a big opportunity for the Jets. And just a guy I know is smiling down, and he would be glowing inside if the year Klecko got in. This happened for the one home game we get against the Patriots. So I just want to be there for that. I think it has the potential to be a special moment.
Absolutely, Liz, and I know you'll be there, right?
I will. I'll be sitting right next to Kevin.
So there we go. So maybe you guys could film some update videos and send them to me so I could post them on the page so people get a little taste. I'm gonna try to sell this Jets ticket if I can, but if I can't sell it, guys, contact me and we'll see what we could do. I really want this ticket to be in the hands of a Jet fan. You know, first I got to pay my bills, then second it's got to be in the hands of a Jet fan. And then third, if we're giving them away, it's definitely got to be in the hands of a Jet fan, or I'll just rather eat it. So that's where we're at this year. We don't want any outside people. Obviously, we know family comes first, money comes first, but we don't want to be giving free tickets away to your buddy who just wants to go to a game and he's like a Vikings fan or something like that. We don't want that. So empty seats or to a Jet fan, but appreciate the support again. YouTube, appreciate the support with the stars, Andrew. And there was one other person that I think it was actually Andrew twice. Thank you very much for the stars. We're going to have those t-shirts soon as soon as my life settles in here. Busy life. Kevin's always traveling around the globe. Liz is a celebrity and I'm basically just do everything that has ever existed in the world. I'm raising kids. I'm cooking meals. I'm doing dishes. I'm teaching the youth. I'm cutting acres of land. I'm making art projects. I'm filming TV shows. I'm shooting weddings. I'm all over the place. And by the way, out there, if anybody needs any photography stuff, I mean, come check the boy out. I mean, I've been doing it 15 years. The guy's got the skills. So hit me up. I travel all over the United States. I've been all over the United States. So I appreciate the support. But thank you guys so much. Please check out Mr. Delgado, Edward Delgado. He's a huge Jet fan. He makes flags that are absolutely amazing. I have a Jets Guru flag that I use all the time, and it's just amazing. I use the picture that he sent me and the flag. He's absolutely amazing. Check him out. Check out Live Rounds. Check out Liz's page. She always posts really good Jets content. There's End Zone. There's all sorts of Jet pages. Just don't tune into our stuff. Tune into everybody's stuff. Get a little piece of everything. And please, the next time the Cowboy fans come in or some other road team comes in the Jet, you guys left me out to dry. I was really upset. None of the heavy hitters that come in this show came. Not even Kevin and Liz jumped in to help me out. And there was like 2,000 Cowboy fans that jumped in that post. And then they just filleted me, but they brought a lot of support and a lot of respect to some of those guys. And we brought also a lot of Jet fans. So the Cowboy fans really boosted our page up. We got a lot of fan support from them. So I appreciate that. But I definitely don't appreciate the butt whooping. So we'll catch you guys again soon. So Cowboy fans, and sorry for losing your guy in practice, Mr. Diggs. So you're down another weapon. We've been there. So I definitely don't wish that on you guys. So best of luck to Cowboy fans. Definitely not best of luck to Patriot fans. I hate you all. I hope your team loses. I hate your coach. I love that Tom Brady beat the Buccaneers. I mean, won with the Buccaneers his first year there to shove it in Bill Belichick's face. I hate your owner. I hate your stadium. I hate the colors of your team. I don't like the mascot that you have. I don't like him either. I don't like Mac Jones. I don't like anything about your team or most of your fans. And there's only one Patriots fan I like, and he actually makes merch for you guys, and I know him. And if I didn't know him, I wouldn't like him either. So I don't like anything about you guys, and I hope you lose really bad. And honestly, I really hope that this is the last time you see Bill Belichick. And I hope you lose every game. I hate all of you, and I hate everything. I don't care. Come on my page right now and say something, because that one I don't care. I'll get raw on that one because I can't stand them and their coach, the old swindling, coach that was supposed to do it for the Jets and didn't. We could have been that, and he didn't give it to us. He let that old man Leon Hess think that he was going to take over, and then all of a sudden he just dipped out on him like that. That guy's got no soul. He's got no heart. Look how he treats people that beat him. Doesn't even shake their hands. Always disrespectful. I don't like him. I hate everything about him. I hate you fans too. Let's go Jets, 17-10 all day. Jets, 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 Jets.
Wow. Tell us how you really feel.